Um, I'm going to describe what's happening in this video as a critique of expected utility theory. In essence, expected utility theory is hyper-rationality, and most of us don't behave that way. So this is going to show you a couple of examples of ways where you might depart from rationality in your own behavior. The first one has two different scenarios, and I'd like you to actually try this after you watch the video yourself. So in scenario A, your initial wealth is 100. You have two different lotteries to choose from. Lottery 1, you win 250 for certain. Lottery 2, you win 500 with probability half and 0 with probability a half. Which lottery do you choose? I'm going to make a choice right now. I'm going to choose lottery 2. In the second scenario, and let me scroll down a little bit here so you can read this, you start with initial wealth $400. This time you have two different lotteries. In lottery 3, you win $200 with probability a half, and you lose $300 with probability a half. In lottery 4, you lose $50 for certain. Which lottery do you choose? And I'm going to make a choice and choose a lottery 4 here. And let's see about that. So we'll scroll down a little bit more, and it says you can evaluate your choices, and I will evaluate, and it says my preferences exhibit preference reversal. They are not fully rational. Let's explain what's going on here. It also says don't read this until after you've tried the little experiment, so if you want to pause the video yourself and try it yourself to see how you feel about this, you can do it and see what choices you would make. Okay, I'm going to assume that you've done that now. Here's the idea. Economic man who believes in expected utility does not care about the starting point, only about the outcomes. It turns out these scenarios are set up to produce the same outcomes. However, they are framed differently. Scenario A is framed as if you are winning something starting from a low amount. Scenario B is framed as if you're losing something starting from a high amount. The psychologist, who is also an economist, his name is Daniel Kahneman, and he and his co-author Tversky are the ones who have done this research, believe that anchors, where you start from, matters, and how you frame it also matters. They argue that people are more likely to be risk-seeking for wins and risk-averse for losses. Again, rational economic man only cares about outcomes, but Kahneman and Tversky say we care about how it's framed. Here's a second example. We're going to roll a die and get outcomes 1 through 6 and use Excel as the random generator for this. And then we're going to look at these two lotteries. This one pays off these payoffs. Lottery 2 has similar payoffs, but they're permuted. And the question is, which lottery do you choose? Let's look at these trials. On the first one, lottery 2 is the better one. You got a 1. Here, lottery 1 is better. Lottery 2 is better. Lottery 1 is better, 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 etc. Which one of these do you choose? And after you've made the choice, or might you be indifferent, let's do the analysis. So the analysis goes something like this. Expected utility would make you indifferent between the two, but Kahneman and Tversky say after the fact you care about regret. Lottery 1, you're likely to regret less often. It's going to be right 5 out of 6 times. Lottery 2 is right only 1 out of 6 times. So for regret minimization, you choose lottery 1.